Stress, it's a word we throw around all the time, right? But do we really get what it's doing inside our bodies? Well, in this explainer, we're going to dive deep into chronic stress. We'll look at it not just as some vague feeling, but as a real physical saboteur that can literally hijack your health from the inside out. So, let's figure out how it works, and maybe more importantly, how we can stop it.
So let me ask you, does that feeling of being completely overwhelmed, like you're being pulled in a million directions at once, and you're just bone tired, sound familiar? Yeah, you are definitely not alone in feeling that way.
In fact, check this out. One major study found that a staggering 82% of people between the ages of 30 and 39 say they're regularly stressed out. It's almost become the new normal in modern life. But the consequences, well, they go way beyond just feeling a little frazzled.
To really get a handle on the problem, the first thing we have to understand is that not all stress is bad. Our bodies actually evolved this brilliant stress response that can be a powerful friend or a really destructive foe. Okay, so on one hand, you've got acute stress. Think of this as your internal superhero. It's that short-term burst that helps you absolutely nail a presentation at work or swerve out of the way of a car that cuts you off. It's healthy, it's focused, and it's essential for survival. But then, you have the villain of our story, chronic stress. This is what happens when the off switch on that system breaks, and your body just stays stuck in that high alert mode 24/7. This is the saboteur we really need to worry about.
So how does this saboteur actually get its work done? Well, it's clever. It hijacks your body's own super sophisticated, ancient alarm system. A system that was originally designed to save our lives.
It all kicks off with what we call the fight or flight response. This is your body's ancient built-in survival instinct. Now, here's the fascinating and kind of problematic part. This system, which evolved to save us from, saber-toothed tigers, can't tell the difference between a real physical threat and a modern one, like a mountain of emails or a brutal traffic jam. To your brain, the alarm sounds exactly the same.
So, when that alarm gets pulled, your brain sends out two key chemical agents. First up, adrenaline. Bam! That's the immediate jolt of energy. Your heart starts pounding, your blood pressure shoots up. Then comes its partner in crime, cortisol, the main stress hormone. It floods our system with sugar for instant energy and slams the brakes on anything your body thinks isn't essential for immediate survival, like your immune response or even digestion.
Now, what's really wild is how this whole thing plays out over time. A guy named Hans Selye, a pioneer in stress research, figured out there are 3 stages. First, you've got the alarm, that initial fight-or-flight shock. If the stress doesn't go away, you enter the resistance stage, where your body tries to adapt but is still running on high alert. The problem is, you can't run on emergency power forever. Eventually, you hit stage 3, exhaustion. Your resources are totally drained, your systems are weak, and you're left wide open to getting sick.
So, what does this state of exhaustion actually look like? Well, let's start at the command center, the brain, because this is where the damage starts to get truly alarming.
Tucked away inside your brain is a little structure called the hippocampus. It's absolutely critical for learning things and creating new memories. You can think of it as your brain's personal record keeper.
And here it is. This is the knockout punch. Research shows that being exposed to high levels of that stress hormone cortisol for a long time literally causes the hippocampus to shrink. That internal saboteur is physically damaging your brain.
The real-world fallout from this is huge. That brain shrinkage leads directly to things like foggy memory, trouble focusing, and just not being able to make good decisions. At the same time, stress sends the brain's fear center, the amygdala, into overdrive, which fuels anxiety and depression. And over the long haul, this entire process can actually speed up how fast your brain ages, possibly even raising the risk for diseases like Alzheimer's.
And the damage doesn't stop with the brain. Oh no, that constant stress alarm sends shockwaves through your entire body, creating all kinds of collateral damage that contributes to some of our most serious chronic diseases.
So 3 main systems really take the brunt of this constant attack. Your cardiovascular system takes the biggest hit at 40% because it's just constantly being pushed into overdrive. But as you can see, your immune and metabolic systems are right behind. They each take about a 30% share of the damage as they're suppressed by all that cortisol and thrown completely out of whack.
This all leads us to a pretty dramatic question, but it's one that has a surprisingly scientific answer. Can intense emotional stress, like the grief from losing someone you love, actually break your heart?
And the answer is yes. It's a real medical condition called Takotsubo cardiomyopathy, better known as broken heart syndrome. It's triggered by a massive sudden surge of stress hormones that temporarily stuns the heart muscle. It feels just like a heart attack with intense chest pain and everything. The crazy part? There are no blocked arteries. It is absolute proof that our emotional state can deliver a physical blow directly to our heart.
And even beyond that kind of acute shock, the long-term effects create this devastating domino effect. That constant high alert state raises your blood pressure, which hardens your arteries and increases your risk for a heart attack or stroke. It keeps your blood sugar high, paving the way for type 2 diabetes, and it suppresses key immune cells, leaving you vulnerable to everything from the common cold to potentially even cancer, because your body's security system is basically offline.
Okay, that was a lot of bad news. I get it. But here is the really good news. We are not powerless here. You can absolutely fight back against this internal saboteur. Think of this next part as your personal defense manual.
The single fastest way to slam the brakes on that fight or flight response is with your breath. The 4-7-8 method is an incredibly powerful tool. Let's just try it real quick. You inhale quietly through your nose for a count of 4, now hold it for a count of 7, and then exhale completely through your mouth, making a whoosh sound for 8. Just doing that simple cycle a few times directly tells your alarm system that the threat is gone. And for the long-term fight, you need to build a resilience toolkit. This isn't about getting rid of stress. That's impossible. It's about managing it. Getting regular exercise literally burns off those excess stress hormones. Quality sleep is when your body repairs itself. Mindfulness keeps you grounded. And please, never, ever underestimate the power of connecting with friends, having hobbies you love, and asking for help when you need it. These aren't luxuries. They are essential maintenance for your body and your brain.
So it all comes down to this. Your body sends you signals every single day. That tension in your shoulders, that racing mind at 3 a.m., that feeling of exhaustion, that's your alarm system ringing. So knowing what you know now about that saboteur inside, the real question is, how are you going to answer the call?